Okay, so let's look at an example, and this is the swap example of passing by value versus passing by reference. So I have defined, or I have two function prototypes here, swap v for swap value and swap r for swap reference. In the main program, first of all, I'm attempting to swap two integers by passing their values. I have num1 equals 1 and num2 equals 2. I am printing out what num1 and num2 are, and then I'm going to print out that I'm calling swap v, and I'm just going to try swapping by passing num1 and num2 by value, finally printing out what num1 and num2 are again. Then I'm going to try to swap the same two values by passing pointers to their values instead. So I print out what they are. I'm going to print out calling swap r. I swap r with a pointer to num1 and a pointer to num2. And look, we don't have to create a separate pointer. We can just say address of num1, address of num2, and then print out what num1 and num2 are. Now, as you might suspect, the first version will not swap the numbers, and the second version will. But let's go ahead and look at their definitions and see why. First of all, swap v just takes and passes a and b by value. And so inside the function, if we printed out what a and b were inside the function, then we would see that a was 2 and b was 1 after we did our temporary assignment and then swapped a and b. But outside the function, when we print out their values, we'll find out that a is still 1, or num1 is still 1, and num2 is still equal to 2. So that's swap by value, or pass by value, and that will not work. Furthermore, if you thought about maybe there's a way to pass or to return more than one value to a function and tried that, there isn't. Even though we could have returned an array from the function, or actually a pointer to an array from the function, but that's something we're going to do a little bit later when we play with arrays as being passed to functions. So here is the swap or the pass by reference version. Void swap r. Again, we're not returning anything. We are swapping these two integers in place. If we pass a pointer for the two integers, two pointers to integers named pointer to a and pointer to b, then if we set up our temp, set temp equal to the contents of a, then say the contents of a is the contents of b, and then b equals temp, this does work. Because coming in, we are passing the addresses. We are passing pointers, not values. And so what's happening here is that the value in the first pointer is getting the value in the second pointer, and vice versa. Now, there is another way to do it. We could pass in two pointers and just simply assign a to temp. In other words, if temp were an int pointer, then we could just assign temp to a to b, and b to temp without the contents of. And what we're doing here is swapping their pointers, swapping the addresses, not the contents of the addresses, but the addresses. Try it both ways, and then understand why. So, whoops. Try it both ways, and then understand why it works in both cases. So let's go ahead and run this and see how it works. This is functions 2. Make functions 2, and then we're going to run it. Alright, so num1 is 1, num2 is 2. If we call swap v, nothing happened. Num1 is still 1, num2 is 2. Alright, so before calling swap r, num1 is 1, num2 is 2. Calling swap r, something happened. Num1 is 2, and num2 is 1. Understand pass by value and pass by reference, and what is going on when we pass a variable, a parameter, to a function by reference.